Welcome back to Apokalypsis. Last we met, Fergus's search for aid led him to a watchtower at the edge of the forests. Weary, he took rest there, but a frightful vision disturbed him. He witnessed his village burning and his father dead. He considered turning back. In contemplation, he decided that now to return would doom them all to perish from this sickness, so the choice was simple: forge ahead and keep hope in his heart for their safety. Two days passed since the vision. It lingered in the back of Fergus's mind, but his concerns were more immediate. He had since joined the main road, known as the Mason's Way, named for the pilgrim stonemasons who journeyed to Taigh Morn in search of the pinnacle of their craft. Now, though, the flow of travellers on this road was away from the city. The folk that passed seemed meek and filled with fear. None greeted him, instead hiding their faces and giving a wide berth. Fergus knew deep down what this meant. The sickness was here too. These were not travellers, but refugees, mostly families. Still, his hand rested heavily atop his censer. Desperate people could be unpredictable. Now, on the final leg of the journey north, Fergus hoped to reach the gates of Taigh Morn by evening. Each step was steeply advancing to the top of the mountain known as Ulm. A wide road snaked its way up and around, and at its peak was a chapel providing shelter for weary travellers. Crag gave up carrying him halfway up, and Fergus led her up the rest. The sight of the chapel was a welcome one, but brief. The gates were locked, and several clergy members were outside arguing loudly with heavily armoured paladins. Fergus dismayed. A hot dinner would not be on today's menu, it seemed. With the chapel now out of sight and earshot, Fergus took rest between some trees at the side of the road. The ground was now too snow-covered to light a fire, but his censer provided a little warmth when stoked with charcoal and peat. Crag shared the heat of the censer, grateful for her wool rug, nuzzling at his hand to get the last bit of his dwindling rations. Emerging from the pine trees, they rejoined the trail and rose a final brow of the peak to behold the first signs of Taigh Morn. Through flurries of snow, Fergus saw the ancient black stone city walls jutting from the edges of the mountains Gahan and Kor. But before the walls was something more concerning. A large encampment had been constructed. He could see figures milling around, cavalrymen herding them, and fires burning piles of corpses producing a black, acrid smoke. His fears solidified, and things looked dire. It seemed the sickness was also in the mountains. Shielding his eyes from the snow, he decided to carry on and continue to find a way around this camp to enter the city itself. Down the leeward slopes of Ulm he headed north, and reaching the first way gate. Now defunct, these gates had once been a bulwark against whatever foe that cursed watchtower had been looking for. From behind the walls of the way gate stepped three men, each a sinewy and rough-cut figure, with the last man at the back hiding his face in a cowled hood. Filling the road, the men called out to him.
"Now for you here, mate. Aye, Taigh Morn is buggered. You won't be getting in."
Fergus stopped in his tracks and stood up straight, grasping his censer tightly.
"I must pass. I need aid for my kin."
The men all laughed, pulling out makeshift weapons.
"Don't we all, mate?"
They approached, forming a circle around him. Crag bowed her head and raised her ears, sensing danger.
"Right, empty your bags then." "I've nothing, lads. You're shaking down a desperate shepherd."
The leader shook his head, then nodded at his comrade, who immediately leapt towards them. Crag reared up in return, cracking him in the face with a swift kick, and bolted.
"Oh, shite!"
Fergus took out his censer as the other thugs reeled back and swung it in a wide arc, spreading fire scorching through the air. Through the flames, the censer made contact with their leader, setting him ablaze as he screamed in agony. The final man bore down, tackling Fergus to the ground.
"You wretched fucker!"
The man Crag had struck was back on his feet and standing above them, wiping the blood from his face. He drew his knife and knelt down, pressing it against Fergus's throat.
"Hold him still."
As Fergus drew a final cold breath, he winced with the pressure of the knife on his neck. Suddenly he felt relief as a heavy, wet thud rang out from the air.
No, 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 no!
The man straddling him fell aside with a thud, and Fergus looked up to see an armoured figure wielding a morning star doused with blood. Towering above him and observing the dead thugs, the man removed his pointed helmet, revealing black curly hair and a wide grin.
You set that bastard on fire. Fantastic.
After rolling the bodies of Fergus and hoisting him to his feet, the man introduced himself.
Bernard, I'm a paladin of Eshin, as you can see.
He gestured to his stone necklace engraved with the church's insignia.
And you are?
I'm Fergus. Thank you for the assistance.
I've rarely seen pyromancy outside the church. Where did you learn that?
The paladin eyed Fergus carefully. Unsanctioned magic was under his purview as a paladin. Cutting in quickly, he chimed.
Never mind. Perhaps you can tell me on the road, if you're heading to Taigh Morn. Could certainly use the company.
Crag was found not far beyond the gate, eating the men's supplies. Bernard listened to Fergus explain his duty in search of a healer.
So it's not just the cities then?
Bernard walked over to one of the slain men, removed the hood and cowl that hid his face, and asked Fergus to look. His visage was completely covered in lichen scales, and small roots growing from beneath, disfiguring his left side completely.
Those who don't die from the fever end up like this.
Gods! None have survived yet back home.
It gets worse. Fear all of our lands are under the ravages of this sickness. The church is calling it aether blight. We are acting to stimulate the spread, try to find a cure. Folk are getting desperate though, as you can see.
Fergus now listened as Bernard told him of his mission, departing the cathedral in the eastern reaches of Hearthshire in search of any who might know more about this strange sickness. No cure was yet known to the church, and they were racing to find any hint of one.
I'm sorry for your plight. Worse yet, seems that Taigh Morn is falling prey to it too. You won't find aid here. I must see the Duke immediately, though I fear that might be difficult.
He nodded at the refugee camp. Certainly more desperate men than those three fools would be between them and the city.
You can join me if you like. Could use a little pyromaniac if the gates are shut.
Fergus considered his offer. This final push was dangerous, but turning back would be of no help to anyone.
Very well. Thank you, Bernard.
Don't thank me yet. It's a shit show out there. Speaking of, do you know any restorative magic?
Which spell will Bernard teach to Fergus? Aether Flame Burst? A fiery spell exploding from your sensor? Or Rejuvenating Miasma? A healing spell using rare ingredients found in the wild? Vote now by leaving a comment under this video, or by voting in the poll. The link is in the description. Voting ends on the 1st of April 2026, so vote now before you lose your chance to participate in this episode of Apokalypsis. There we have it. Fergus is now on the road with a friend. I'd like to thank Ross Fisher for his incredible work voice acting Bernard. He absolutely nailed the character, and I can't thank him enough. I'd also like to thank my amazing patrons for helping me make these videos possible. Each video takes weeks of production, and as a freelance artist, all of my time costs me, so I appreciate each and every one of you. If you'd also like to be a part of the Apokalypsis story, then there's a few ways you can get involved. First, subscribing and liking the video is a massive help. I don't get many views at the moment, so visibility is everything. Secondly, these videos are provided with the support of Patreon. Members there get access to polls where you can vote on designs, ideas and paths. There's a free tier available too if you just want to hang out. Finally, you can join my Discord for regular updates and sneak peeks into the upcoming content. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.